All right, everybody. Thank you for jumping on with us for our Tri-State Training Day podcast. I got my main man, Ivan Vedrov, the owner of FFL Universe, a massive organization. I don't even know what your title is anymore. I'm sure you're somewhere near council member. But also, Ivan is an integrity partner and has built a massive organization with just loaded with leaders that are doing great things. And Ivan is someone that is just exemplary in all that he does on a day-to-day basis, work ethic, passion, the ability to help people, and really understands his business. So, one of my great friends and business partners. So I'm excited to have you on, buddy. How you doing, man?
And I'm doing really good. And I really, really, really appreciate you bringing me on today. I hope I can help out some people here, remembering how I joined Family First Life 5 years ago. What I felt right away is being surrounded by people that really care about what they do, that really care about obviously the results, caring about the clients, and most importantly, that's what I felt, caring about their fellow agents. And I got on board Tri-State, and I've seen how much heat you guys putting out. It was really hard not to wanting to have the same thing, same results, and it helped me a lot. So I'm blessed to be part of Tri-State, forever grateful, and excited to record this with you today, Mark.
Appreciate you, buddy. And we wouldn't be the same if you didn't join the organization and see what you saw, because you were always so easy to work with and just had that work ethic that just dwarfed human beings. I mean, you get a lot done in a short amount of time because of how much time you don't waste. So, I mean, I can't say enough about that, but I do want to talk about some of the things you're doing. You've, obviously finished last year, helping over, I want to say 5,000 families, or 50,000 families. I mean, when you start getting to those numbers, helping 5,000 families a month and helping 50,000, 60,000 families a year, it starts to get silly. You watch that whole thing build and grow. But as you know, there's always more. So when you reflect on your integrity deal, post integrity, and the work you've done to continue to build your organization, what's driving you? What are some of the things you're seeing that are making a difference?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously, it's a different world, but I don't want to necessarily say different world from the standpoint of being integrity partner versus not being one, but it's more so from the standpoint of market changing. So what we've realized in the last 18 months that we needed to move a lot faster adapting to those changes. So that is something, like many others, I'm pretty sure we failed to do some time back, and now realizing that a lot of our future growth, the way we seeing it, Mark, will be through telesales, will be through educating one individual agent one at a time, will be through being very selective who would bring on board, being and having very tight processes on whether it's recruiting, onboarding, training, and have everything structured. So that's the future of FFL Universe, and as always, blessed to be, partnered up with all this amazing individuals that are part of our team that keep coming on board. And there's a lot going on, a lot more people because we're bigger, seeing that financial services industry is a good industry to be in, but more specifically, there's so many different, I guess, niches within the financial services industry. And what I think we're going to keep doing, the way we never stopped doing that, by the way, in the last 18 months, we have never stopped recruiting. And I think think really that's the key. That's the spirit of our organization, is that we never stop recruiting, like no matter what. And like we got hit by different things, and this changed, this stopped working. But what we haven't stopped doing is we haven't stopped recruiting and introducing people to Family First Life, to the way to do life insurance business by having leads, having ways to get people approved on the spot, being able to do that remotely. That's something we had to revamp and redo and learn. And obviously, guilty as charged. And at some point, we forgot to keep learning the new skill. Once we realized that, we got them back on track, learned a few new things, and just back on the horse. And amidst all of that, the chaos and distractions and busy daily work, what we realized also is who we actually need to recruit as well. I hope that makes sense, because like analyzing last 5 years, we understood that all this amazing individuals, they came from absolutely everywhere. This is something you absolutely should not be overthinking. They came from content, they came from referrals, warm market, social media, DMs, Indeed.com, like you name it. There's like, I can go on and on and on and on. Like if I was able to systemize that and give you an advice today, hey, recruit from here or recruit from there, and this works particularly well, I'll be lying to you, because sometimes we would get discouraged about certain lead source because we haven't seen the results consistently from it. But either we will see the results soon, or we can go sometime back, look at it, and see, all right, we spent $60,000 on this resource. Yes, we may not be wanting to do this consistently going forward, but we still have results, because this business is as amazing as it is, allows you to still see those results, and it's crazy. So I don't have any advice on that. I'll be straightforward and honest, but I think everything works a little bit. Things change, right? And we have to rethink the way we think, and essentially one fundamental truth is still the truth. Everything works a little bit. That makes sense. And yeah, we can start getting more creative, but that's the case. But what we also realized, what I personally realized, that I don't want to be just recruiting anyone. I want to be recruiting someone that has similar story as I am, someone whose parents might have a similar story as I am. And the important thing for me in all of it, and realization of all of it, was the fact that I will get insanely passionate and caring if I can relate to the same struggles, if I can see somebody like me going through something I went through before. So, and this is something that we realized this year, and we're using this approach going forward. And, so as always, we're just getting started, very excited to grow. And as always, having this energy to continue this business, knowing that we're going to help out so many people. People always come first. So, I mean, like, the results, the money and everything, it's just a byproduct. But man, like, you can't be putting that on the pedestal and just have that as a goal, Just gotta keep helping people, keep getting them realizing that, hey, there's one wonderful industry out there. They can like they can get you from being totally broke on Monday and being on the horse by Friday, right? So
Being on the horse by Friday. You are. That's great, dude. When I think about what you're doing, I mean, everything you're saying makes sense. I mean, you never stop recruiting, and based on that, I mean, how long ago, you were looking at it, you had, 4 or 5 organizations, 3 massive organizations, and now you have, another 7 to 10 organizations outside of your 3 massive organizations that you're growing and building and developing. What are you seeing in that in today's times, right? You're saying a lot of things are going to go to telesales and the live dials and lock-ins and call center. Like, so we're obviously building it. We're still building it. We're still recruiting every day, but it's a little bit different with the verticals that we're choosing to take to market, which are really moving volume quickly. What are you seeing when it comes to the introduction of this to your business model?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, telesales is a lot more scalable, in my opinion, right? So, and I honestly, I it's not like I haven't believed in telesales that it's possible to sell life insurance through telesales. I definitely tried selling final expense in the very beginning of pandemic over the phone, right? So I didn't like it at first personally because I felt like I'm in my office and I so got used to being in the car. I so got used to jumping on the planes, going to different cities and selling there. And like when people say, "Hey, I love traveling," and it's all nice and cute, but when you travel for work all the time, it gets old. You know what I mean? So, but in all of it, I also it wasn't my cup of tea. It was hard to adapt, and it was just I felt like I don't have enough time to get back with agents and talk to them and do what I need to do with them if I'm on the phone all day. Little did I know that that's exactly what I was supposed to be doing back then and expending on, because that's all you really need to do. You need to be on the phone selling, and you need to have your agents watching, replicating you and learning from it. It's like, being able to sell and train at the same time, right? So when it comes to field sales, and again, I'd do it all over again. I'm, I'm so excited about this business. I'm ready to jump out of this office, get in the car, and go help a family protect them. You know what I mean? And it just you can be a lot more efficient with both. Like the mental roadblock for me was like, hey, if I do telesales myself, I'm not going to be able to build a massive organization. That's kind of stuck with me early on, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it, right? So I'm not gonna try to worry about it because it's uncomfortable, first of all, and we have something good going here. Why do I need to reinvent the wheel? So I kind of dismissed that, and then went back to Zoom sales later, tried that, and was mentally also had a hard time to adapt, abandoned that, walked away from it again, and now I realized that if I just stuck to it back then, we would be a lot further ahead, because that's what agents want to do. Everybody wants to do telesales. Why wouldn't they? Does that make sense? It's like, and then if I'm not relevant to them, if I can't sell over the phone myself, how can I teach somebody else to do exactly that? So, but it's just a lot more convenient. And also I taught that it's impossible to build relationships over Zoom or over the phone. Like, yes, it's harder. You need a different skill set, but also we have a lot of people coming in now into our organization that don't know any better. They haven't done insurance before. Why wouldn't we want to start them on the telesales? And they like it more. We know how to teach it. We know how to provide the resources, and just literally, yesterday I had somebody call me back. I talked to them first. They didn't buy, and they called me back yesterday, and they're like, "Hey, we're ready." And I've never had this being in the field, to be honest with you, because it's a different approach, and again, need a different skill set. But anyways, so I'm definitely excited about that. This is still, like, you might say, Ivan, you should have recorded this podcast a year ago. Everybody's selling over the phone already. Have you been under a rock or what? Like, why are you so excited? Well, I don't know. I'm excited. This is something new to us. It's not like we haven't tried it a year ago, but now, sometime later, we have 100% confidence that we can take someone, and again, I'm not saying anyone, don't be confused. We can take someone who possesses a certain skill set and wants to do it and 100% convinced this is the best, absolute best opportunity for them at this time, the best way to make money at this time. If those two met the skill set and their desire and conviction, we have 100% conviction that we can bring them on board and get them paid within a couple of days. So I hope that makes sense, Mark, and I hope that answers your question.
It's like, you're right. It's going with the stream. Why fight against the stream? I remember going shopping for a TV fresh out of college in 2003. And the salesman, back in the day, Ivan, there were these flat screens that had the big backs. So this just the screen being flat and not being like a bubble was innovation. So, but it still had this huge back, all the guts, to get the thing weighed 90 pounds, for a 36-inch screen, and the real flat screens came out, like the ones that we all use now, the cool thing that's hanging on your wall back there. But it was at a time where those bigger TVs were still selling. And the salesman said to me, everything's going to turn into these, the flatter ones. I'm like, well, you're charging, 50% more for these right now. And these are what I know. These other ones are what I know. And they work, right? Like, let me get one of these. Well, sure enough, as time has gone by, the TV that I bought with the big back was becoming extinct. And the salesman was right. He was saying, hey, this is what it's going to look like. And not only does it look like that, there's been multiple different models and versions. There was a curved model, and then there's smart TVs, and now there's smarter TVs, and then there's different pixelations on how great the picture can be. So if you're going against the flow, you're going to be extinct. The TV I bought worked. I had it for years, but I had to upgrade at some point because who's logging around an 80-pound TV from one apartment to the next, to a house, to, as I was growing up through my life. So, and obviously flat screens became the way of life. I remember the first 50-inch flat screen being like, wow, a 50-inch. And it was like, now you got a 50-inch, you get laughed at. You can't even see it. So, what you're saying is going with the flow, going with the stream of what people want to do is an easier lift because it can be done. And you've changed your thought process around that. Talk to us about some of the systems you're doing, including your lockouts, and some of the things you're doing to onboard and bring people into a telesales environment.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, you mentioned the lockouts. I think they're absolutely foundational, right? So we used to do sales conferences, right? So now the new team is doing the lockouts. They're a lot more productive because I think what we've underestimated always is the power of this hands-on training, right? What we used to do in the past, hey, as long as I can teach you how to dial, you should be fine, right? But not everybody's going to be fine. So, and I think this new system of running the lockouts, spending time with every new agent, teaching them not how to do the 30% of it, not 40%, but 100% of it, right? So you right there next to them through 100% of the sale, from the initial conversation to closing, submitting application, and celebrating together with them. And it has a different dynamic, obviously. So when you have 10, 15, 20 young and hungry people in the same office where, the bell rings, we put the the bell inside of our office, right? So every single time somebody sells, they go and they ding ding, and the whole office wakes up. Like everybody's more motivated. Everybody wants to push harder. They want to go and ring that bell. So it's insane. The like how it changes the culture. It's no more a lonely business. Remember how we used to call it lonely business? This can be a lonely business. It doesn't have to be. So and the lock-ins, they're foundational. That's when we able to not just train but be very hands-on, show agents exactly how it's done. You know what I mean? So and also, there are a lot of other professionals out there that actually that's the best news ever. They are accustomed to sell a product over the phone. Does that make sense? So we used to say, hey, let's target car salespeople, or let's bring this kind of salespeople in our business. They'll succeed. You know what I mean? So, but in this day and age, when everybody's selling over the phone, what you should be doing if you're looking to grow is you need to look at all the industries and look at it and say, who else is selling over the phone? And say, all right, there's people selling car insurance over the phone. There's a lot of auto insurance brokerages that sell insurance over the phone. And you'll say, well, yeah, I mean, that's all great, but the product's different. Yeah, but the skills are the same. Selling something over the phone, go ahead and find this auto insurance brokers and recruit them. There's a lot of small mom and pop shops that in good market conditions making absolutely no money compared to us. Now, what you need to also consider, that's just one of the examples. There's a lot of other people selling something over the phone, and you can show them the way. But take auto insurance brokers, for instance. Auto insurers, they don't take new clients right now. They don't, because the cost of the parts went significantly up. The industry's upside down. They don't want to, but they can collect a higher premium to cover the potential loss. So a lot of big name insurance companies, they don't even take new clients. I'm not sure if you guys knew, but they do not take clients. Car insurance broker is the hungriest, most skillful professional out there you need in your business right now. They don't have anything to sell. Like if you work with life transfers, you know that there's also auto life transfers. Those like a third of the cost right now because nobody's buying them. Auto insurance brokers can do nothing with them, nothing. So, and so that's one of the examples. But what else is out there, Mark? Credit repair, right? So it's always, but that has always been done over the phone, right? So you can go ahead and target those people and then get them licensed, either on your own or partner up with somebody else. Run the lock-in, get them trained. It takes 3 days, and you'll like if you don't know how to run it, reach out to somebody that has done it before. They'll help you out to strategize, to plan it out, and to make sure it's a successful event. And right then and there, you'll guarantee a few new writers coming out from there. Their hearts are on fire, and they're gonna be out there crushing the game and enjoying themselves and being flexible. I spoke to so many people that like lately. One guy told me that, hey, if it wasn't for that lock-in, I wouldn't be convinced to go all in on this business. He's like, I just didn't see how this business could be done. He's like, I tried to sell over the phone because that's the only way I know how to sell something, and that's what I wanted to do. But this was missing, that was missing, and the lock-in really showed me the way. And I came back excited. I started recruiting people, and now I have 10 people in the office selling. So, and there are other people that were giving me, different positive feedback, saying that this really helped us a lot. Thank you so much. So, and I mean that's really is the system. Now, again, you don't need to overcomplicate anything. It's still simple, right? It's still, recruiting, identifying quality people that are convinced 100% that they want to change their life, right? That part's still the same. Getting them licensed, getting them contracted, getting them all in one place for 2-3 days, putting all your effort and energy into that, and watch. Does that make sense? So, yeah. Can't do nothing without it. I mean, why would you do it any differently? So, I mean, yes, of course. Do they still watch our boot camp that we created in the past just to kind of get a feel for the industry, pick up the word tracks? You know what I mean? So yeah, you can have the most amazing phone script, but like just back in the day, we used to say, hey, like if you sell a mortgage protection, you need to be a mortgage professional at the same time. You need to know the terminology. You need to own the topic. Just like now, I mean that is still the same. Like if you sell life insurance over the phone, you need to be passionately curious every day and learn. So this is something we still do. The way we onboard, the way we communicate to people, saying, "Hey, watch the boot camp first." And we know it's not necessarily going to be as applicable as it used to be, but we need them educated, right? So by the time they contracted, finish the boot camp, the next reasonable step is to find the next lock-in that somebody else possibly hosting, join with them, and figure it out. So our plan is to do basically one lock-in at least every 2 weeks. Well, basically call it twice a month, right? So our plan is to host one somewhere where we have the activity going on now, and to host one in our office in Chicago. So one here, one somewhere. One here, one somewhere else. So that's the plan for 2023.
So strong. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you guys are exploding. What are your give everyone a little taste? What's the goals for Universe for 2023? How many families are you looking to end the year with?
That's a good question, Mark. We haven't quite used that as our goals. I'll be transparent as our goals for this. I mean, we're running a business, right? So we were that focused on revenue for our company. So and yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, listen, I mean, like we kind of in the place right now and I've always said that, because even when I was trying to get people excited about the, up to 145% comp family first life, I still told them the same thing I'm telling them now, is that that's not the most important thing. I can tell you we will pay you 400%. I can tell you we're going to pay you 100%. I can tell you we pay 145. It don't matter. If I can teach you how to predictably sell 1, 2, 3 policies a day, that's what's going to make you happy, right? That's what's going to get you paid. And at the end of the day, that's what we focus on. But also, Mark, I'll be honest with you. Like the reason your question caught me off guard, because we haven't put a pen to paper to put down what Universe is going to look like at the end of 2023, because it's so long from now, right? If we would be using the same thought process we used all other years and saying this year we're going to be here, it's like the pressure's not on. What we've been using here is like our plan is always 12 weeks out, right? So when this 12 weeks going to be over, for us, it's going to be like sometime in the mid-May. When we're going to hit mid-May and when we're going to hit all our goals by mid-May, then we're going to set the new goal for the 12 weeks out, because that's what creates the pressure. That's like our week is 1 month, and if you look at the 2023, you'll say, oh, it's 12 months ahead. There's like, we'll hit it. And that's why everybody's, that's the power of the fourth quarter, right? Why do we get the results in the fourth quarter like that? Because everybody's trying to hit their goal. So we're going to have 4 years instead of 1 this year. So our goals are 12 weeks out. The urgency's there, the pressure's on, and 1 day is 1 week for us. I mean, that's just what it is. And but as far as if I had to kind of translate it, I mean, I couldn't see how Universe would not be able to grow the volume basically by at least bare minimum doubling the volume. So that's definitely going to be there. But our goal right now is 1 agent at a time, 1 lock-in at a time, 1 agency at a time, and just being able that to to have this clear vision of making sure that every single person that comes to the lock-in, you know, gets paid. Make sure that they help 1, 2, 3 families minimum. Going back to standards double, and the ultimate goal is to bring every single agent, you know, anywhere between, you know, 4 to 8 weeks down the road to a position where they help 3 clients a day. So being in the virtual field, you know, 5 days a week.
Well, killing it as always. I appreciate you more than you know. You are a place where running an agency your size, I mean, I listen to you and, you know, your cadence, your confidence, your approach, your knowledge is just, I can tell you're processing as the fastest you've ever processed, and that things are getting done quickly. So I can see what's happening inside your agency. You're awesome, and I appreciate all you do, brother.
Mark, I'm forever grateful to you, Family First Life, everyone around us here, Tri-State staff. You guys are amazing. You're doing so much for us every day, setting the pace. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and appreciate y'all.
Ivan Vedrov, FFL Universe, training day. Love y'all. God bless. Thanks, Ivan.